All right, let's get right into it. For years, we've all known email marketing is a huge part of any digital strategy. But right now, something massive is happening. The game is shifting, right? We're moving away from that old spray and pray approach to something way, way smarter, all thanks to AI. We're going to break down how artificial intelligence is turning our inboxes from just a bunch of noise into something that feels like genius.
But first, let's start with a question, and I guarantee every single marketer listening has asked this. You pour hours into crafting the perfect email. You've got this amazing offer, you hit send, and then nothing. Crickets. So why? Why do so many of our emails just get lost in the void? Well, the answer is both simpler and way more overwhelming than you probably think.
It all comes down to this number, 120. That is the average number of emails a person gets every single day. Think about that. Your message isn't just competing with a couple of your rivals, it's fighting for air in a total digital avalanche. Trying to stand out with the old methods, it's not just tough, it's becoming pretty much impossible. And this brings us straight to what I call the unopened email problem. And look, it's not just about the fire hose of emails we're all getting, it's about a really fundamental shift in what we, as customers, expect from brands. The bar has been raised so high that generic, one-size-fits-all messages just don't even come close anymore. And we've got the data to prove it. Check this out. Salesforce found that a whopping 73% of us expect companies to get us, really get us on a personal level. This isn't some bonus feature anymore. It's the absolute baseline. If your email doesn't feel like it was written specifically for me, well, you've already lost. So how did we try to do this in the past? Let's take a quick look back at what we can now call yesterday's personalization. It was a decent first attempt, but as we're about to see, it's kind of like bringing a butter knife to an AI-powered gunfight. This was the entire toolkit, right? We all remember this. You have the high first name token, which, hey, was pretty cool for a minute. Then we had these really broad segments, like everyone in a certain city or everyone in an age bracket. And of course, the rigid triggers, like that cart abandonment email that always went out exactly 2 hours later. It was okay, but it was all so static, so superficial. And that's really the core difference right here. The old way, it's like buying a suit off the rack. It might sort of fit, but it's not really for you. The new AI-powered approach, that's like having a bespoke tailor. It's dynamic, not static. It's predictive, not just superficial. And it's automated, not manual. It's custom fit for every single person, all happening in real time. So how in the world does AI actually pull this off? Well, it's through what I like to call its email superpowers. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the specific, game-changing things that AI can do that just completely transform personalization from a simple tactic into your core strategy. First up, AI-powered segmentation. Forget those old rigid buckets like manage 25 to 35. AI creates these living, breathing audience clusters. This means someone who's browsing hiking boots on Saturday automatically flows into a planning a trip segment on Sunday. They get trail recommendations, not just another generic shoe ad. The segments are always learning and adapting. So here's how that actually breaks down. First, as we said, the segments change in real time with every single click. Then, the AI starts finding these tiny, micro segments. Think people who only buy organic products on the weekend, patterns that a human could never spot. And finally, and this is huge, it uses predictive modeling to tell you who's about to buy, or maybe even more importantly, who's about to leave, so you can step in before they do. Next superpower, dynamic content. And this goes so far beyond just dropping in a first name. This means two people can get the same email, but one person sees images of ski gear while the other sees stuff for a beach vacation, all based on their recent browsing. The AI is literally rebuilding the guts of the email for every single person at a massive scale. Then we have send time optimization. You can totally forget about that whole what's the best time to send, Tuesday at 10 a.m. debate. The AI learns that Sarah always checks her phone on her morning commute, but David is a late-night email reader. So it holds the email and delivers it at that perfect, unique moment for each of them, making sure you're right at the top of their inbox. And maybe the most incredible superpower of all is predictive analytics. This is where AI stops just reacting to what people did and starts anticipating what they're going to do next. It looks at their history to forecast their needs. So a few weeks after someone buys a new coffee machine, boom, they get an email about a sale on their favorite coffee pots. It feels less like marketing and more like the company is just Really, really helpful. It's almost like mind reading. Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But does it actually move the needle? Let's look at the real world impact. We're going to shift from the how it works to the here's the proof, the actual tangible results that real brands are seeing right now. The numbers really speak for themselves. On average, brands that switch to AI are seeing a 26% lift in their open rates. But get this, they're also seeing a massive 41% increase in click-through rates. This is not some tiny little optimization. This is a fundamental breakthrough in performance. So what does that look like in the wild? Well, for an e-commerce store, it's all about turning that just browsing person into a buyer. The AI sees you were looking at a specific pair of sneakers, so the next email you get doesn't just remind you, it shows you those sneakers, plus the perfect running shorts and maybe even a water bottle to go with them. Or how about in the software world? For SaaS companies, it's about making onboarding so much smarter. The AI actually watches how a new user interacts with the app. If they seem to be getting stuck on a particular feature, the very next email they get is a super helpful guide for that exact problem. It's like a personal tutor making sure they succeed. And for a travel company, it's the ultimate inspiration tool. The AI notices you've been searching for flights to Greece and that you've booked trips to islands before. So the email you get isn't just a generic list of deals, it's a perfectly curated offer for a boutique hotel on Santorini. It feels personal because it is personal. All right, so you're sold. You want to bring these superpowers into your own email strategy. So in this last section, let's talk about the playbook, what you need to measure, and just as importantly, what you need to watch out for to get this right. This is what success looks like now. We're moving beyond just opens and clicks. You should be measuring the uplift you get from AI. You're watching your conversion rate climb because the offers are actually relevant. You're seeing churn, your unsubscribes, go down because you're not annoying people anymore. And the big one, you're tracking revenue per email to see the real, direct return on your investment. But listen, it is not a magic wand. There are definitely challenges. The absolute biggest one is data quality. You've all heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. It's never been more true. You also have to navigate privacy rules, and you have to be careful not to cross that line into being creepy by over-personalizing. And through it all, you have to make sure your brand's human voice doesn't get lost in all the automation. Which brings us to our final thought here. The technology is here. The customer expectation has been set, so the only real question left is for you. When you look at how you're communicating with your audience, you just have to ask yourself, is my email strategy built for yesterday, or is it ready for tomorrow?